Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari 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 Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Vrajajana Ranjana 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 Jaya Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya 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 Kunja Vihari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Ya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladevo Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladevo Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Mai Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me 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 Jaya Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Vallabha Jaya Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद महाराज 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 प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप गदामाह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासति गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनं हृदयन्तस्तो हि अभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सतां। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, the chapter number 1, the history of the life of Ajamil, text number 42. Suryo Agni Kam Maru Devaha Somaha Sandhya Ahani Dishaha Kham Khu Swayam Dharma Iti Hi Yete Dhaihyasya Sakshinaha. Suryo Agni Kam Marudevaha Suryognikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamku Swayam Dharma Iti Kamku Swayam Dharma Iti Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Suryognikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamko Swayam Dharma Iti Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Suryognikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamko Swayam Dharma Iti Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Suryognikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamko Swayam Dharma Iti Iyete Daihasya Sakshinaha Suryognikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamko Swayam Dharma Iti Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Suryagnikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamko Swayam Dharma Iti Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Suryognikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamko Swayam Dharma Iti Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Suryognikam Maruddhevaha Somaha Sandhyaha Nidhishaha Kamko Swayam Dharma Iti Hi ete daihasya sakshinaha Suryaha, the sun god, Agnihi, the fire, Kham, the sky, Marut, the air, Devaha, the demigods, Somaha, the moon, Sandhya, evening, Ahani, the day and night, Dishaha, the directions, Kham, the water, Ku, the land, Swayam, personally, Dharmaha, Yamaraj or the super soul, Iti, thus, he, indeed, Yete, all of this, daihasya of a living entity embodied in the material elements. Sakshinaha, witness. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and the super soul himself all witness the activities of the living entity. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The members of some religious sects, especially Christians, do not believe in the reactions of karma. We once had a discussion with a learned Christian professor who argued that although people are generally punished after the witness of their misdeeds are examined, where are the witnesses responsible for one's suffering the reactions of past karma? To such a person, the answer by the Yamaduta is given here. A conditioned soul thinks that he is working stealthily and that no one can see his sinful activities. But we can understand from the Shastra that there are many witnesses, including the sun, fire, sky, air, moon, demigods, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and the super soul himself, who sits with the individual soul within his heart. Where is the dearth of witnesses? The witnesses and the Supreme Lord both exist, and therefore so many living entities are elevated to higher planetary systems or degraded to lower planetary systems, including the hellish planets. There are no discrepancies, for everything is arranged perfectly by the management of the Supreme God. Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. The witnesses mentioned in this verse are also mentioned in other Vedic literature. Aditya Chandrau Anilo Analascha Dhyur Bhumir Apo Hridayam Yamascha Ahascha Ratrischa Ubhecha Sandhye Durmopi Jhanati Narasya Vittam. So here we continue reading the history of life of Ajamil, where very interesting topic is mentioned here. Most of the time in the material world, we always ask for witness. If I do something wrong, who is the witness? If I do this, a witness is a very typical question asked. Srila Prabhupada says in his personal experience, he says, I was a student in the Scottish Churches College in Calcutta, and we had to attend half an hour Bible class. Half an hour Bible class, Srila Prabhupada attended. So Srila Prabhupada says, he was a professor, Reverend Father W.S. Urquhart. He said, I remember, what is the evidence? There are so many people getting punished, the system, the Vedic system, people are getting punished, and what is the evidence? What is the evidence? How do you prove that this person has done something wrong and this person has something right, something pious, something sinful? Where is the evidence? So Prabhupada says the evidence is here. The evidence is here. It's mentioned here, and Prabhupada says in the beginning of the purport itself, he says, some members of the religious sects do not believe in the reactions of karma. For them, there is only one life. Only one life. You do whatever you want, enjoy up to the brim, and then after that you become like a zero, like a nirvana or whatever they call. That's it. There is nothing like a punarjanma. But in the Vedic system, it is completely different. Whatever we are doing, whatever activities we are performing, everything is monitored. Everything is monitored. So it's not like here in the material world, sometimes the material laws are a little bit vague. You commit some sinful activities and then you can escape actually. This is a material law. But in the supreme law, there is nothing like a deviation like that. The Prabhupada says there is no discrepancy. Everything is counted. Whatever you perform, everything is accounted for. And how it is done? That is Supreme Lord. He is omnipotence. And he has competent, Srila Prabhupada says. And Prabhupada's words are very, very special, coined words. Competent agents. Prabhupada's competent agents are there. They can monitor everything. Because they all monitor. That's why in this sloka we have a sun, fire, sky, air, demigods, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and the super soul himself. All witness the activities of the living entity. So all these agents are there, and they witness the activities of the living entity. So we cannot say that, oh, I have performed some activity in a very secret way. I have performed something very secret activity I have performed. Nobody has noticed that. Yeah, nobody has noticed from your point of view, but it is noticed by everyone. This is like the Shastra says. That is why even if you look at the Yamadutas are very, 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 even though from a point of view of Vishnudutas, they may not be that good looking and other things, but they have understood iti sushruma. Prabhupada repeatedly says this, iti sushruma, again and again in the lectures. Iti sushruma means thus we have heard from Dharmaraj. This is the position. They heard. See, they are giving all the evidences, how these things are done. And here, and Srila Prabhupada, sometimes we see, I am just suffering the reactions, and this is like a proof. This is a natural tendency. When we suffer something, we always ask, why am I suffering? Most of the time we forget, we have done something in the past, we are reaping the results. Instead, we just blame somebody. Oh, maybe destiny or this or that. God is cruel. Well, they come with different philosophies. No, we have done something wrong, and because of that only today we are suffering. And same way with enjoyment also. Enjoyment and suffering are given to us based on all the activities we have performed, actually. And this is all maintained by Dharmaraja. Dharmaraj is there, and Dharmaraj is ably assisted by his assistants, Chitragupta. And it's all, they're not like some mythological figures. Sometimes people think, when they talk about Dharmaraj or Chitragupta or all these different personalities, they think it's some grandma stories to just scare the children, so that they behave properly or something. No, it is not. There is a personality. Because otherwise, why Śrīmad Bhāgavatam goes to this extent of explaining all this? If it is something mythology, would Sukadeva Goswami would bother to explain at the Maharaj Parikshit at the time of death? Will he bother to explain all these things? Or Vyasadeva, would he care to explain all these things if it is some mythology? So we have to have that little bit of understanding. What is their motivation? What is their motivation? They don't have any mundane motivation. They have to gain something from us. No, nothing actually. Because they are giving this knowledge so that we can behave ourselves. This is for us actually. The knowledge is given so that we can't say, oh no, Prabhu, I didn't know that all these things are monitored. No, we know everything is monitored. And Krishna is situated as a Paramatma. He is saying, Sarvasya chaham hritisannivishto mataha smritir jnanam apohanamscha vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedhyo vedanta krit vedavit evacha. Over and above that, Krishna is also situated as a Paramatma, and he is witnessing. Upadrashta anumantascha bharta bhokta maheshwara. Because if you read Bhagavad Gita, all this information there. So the living entity cannot think that I am secluded, I will do something without the knowledge of anyone. That is not possible actually. Because that is the biggest problem. From there only the tendency to commit sinful activities comes actually. If you understand nobody is watching, so I can do any damn thing and I can get away with that. That is the whole, the enjoying propensity. But if you understand Krishna is watching, Surya is watching, Chandra is watching, all these disas are watching, everything is watching, how can I do some prohibited activity? It's all like everybody is noticing me. I'm answerable. Individually I'm answerable. Because it's not like a collectively, collective thing is different. But individually we are all answerable, whatever activities we perform. That is why we have to take individual care. Yes, whatever my activities are and what I am doing, what is I'm performing, all these things are accounted for. So that is why Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, we once had a discussion with the learned Christian professor who argued that although people are generally punished after the witness of their misdeeds are examined, where are the witnesses responsible for one suffering the reactions of past karma? To such a person, the answer by the Yamadutas is given here. A conditioned soul thinks that he is working stealthily and that no one can see his sinful activities, but we can understand from the Shastra that there are many witnesses. So this is in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. Things are mentioned, but if you logically you can understand also, like if even the governments, they have so many CIDs and the Central Intelligence and the Federal Bureau, so many things are there. Even in a small government, man-made government, they have so much law. What is going on because of this with the spying system or whatever the system they have, they know. Even normal small government, they can have that. But do you think the supreme government, the universal government will not have anything? We should be, this thinking is very childish actually. Because if you do perform some activity, the federal police comes to your house actually. They have that intelligence. There is nothing spiritual in that. There is nothing, it's only material intelligence only. They just interact or whatever, interpret whatever this thing. They have that intelligence. But then how much more intelligence Lord Krishna's system will have actually? There is no need to doubt anything. Yes, it is possible. Here in the material world, this system is there. That means spiritual world also is a much more wonderful system is there. And that is not, there is no discrepancy. Here there is discrepancy. You will have a bias. I don't like this person. I'll try to eliminate that person. That's what's happening. This material world, all this intelligence and all these things, what they do? Oh, okay, eliminate this person, eliminate this person. This type of things are happening. But in the Supreme Lord system, you have done some good karma, you have to be rewarded for that. You have done some sinful activities, you have to be punished for that. It's a wonderful system here. So it's not like there is no problem with the system. So we can understand. And also Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshu arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra arudhani mayaya. Because the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna repeatedly he is saying that how he is situated in the heart, so that he gives the intelligence, he gives the forgetfulness, and he is situated in the heart. And if a living entity wants to take guidance from the Lord is ready to give that guidance. Always that guidance is there. Nobody can say that now I am like God forsaken. There is nothing like God forsaken. God never forsakes us. God always is assisting us, always with us, so that when he is just waiting actually. It's the other way around. God is waiting. It's just like an order. Oh, when this fellow is going to turn face towards me, so that I can start giving some guidance actually. So that is Lord's supreme mercy actually. But living entity is so stubborn that he just keep on going life after life, life after life, life after life, in the forgetfulness of God. So that is a misfortune. So that is why the Shastra gives all this information, so that we can understand how we perform activities. The activities what we perform, there is a bearing. If you perform good activity, you have to get good results. If you perform sinful activities, you have to perform some results for the punishments for that. And if you perform pure devotional activities, then you completely finish this, both pious and impious, go back home, back to Godhead. All these facilities are given. So it is up to us to decide. So Krishna says that in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, as we discussed, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetragya jnanam yadjnanam matam mama. So Krishna says, because there are two kinds of knowers in this body. One kind of knower is the individual knower. The other kind of knower is a supreme knower. Krishna is a supreme knower. I just know what is going on in my body to some certain extent only. I don't know everything also. Because what is going on in my mind, what is going on in my, I don't know. Because I am very, very limited knower. But Krishna, he is a supreme knower. As a Paramatma, he knows everything happening in my body and everything happening in everyone's body. That is Krishna. So that way, then we can understand how can we hide anything from him. If we can hide anything from him, then only the problem comes. If we start having the thinking that I can do something without the knowledge of Krishna, then only the sinful activity starts actually. But if you understand, Krishna knows everything. Because the thought, even before the thought comes into the mind, Krishna knows that. Oh, this fellow is going to do this. So then where is the question of performing a sinful activity? There is not a possible at all actually. So it is for a devotee. For a devotee there is no problem. Devotee wherever he goes, premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sataiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajam. Because his eyes are anointed with love, so wherever he goes, he sees Krishna only. He doesn't see anything else. He just sees Krishna. Go here, there, everywhere, wherever he goes, he sees Krishna. So he cannot perform any prohibited activity at all. Okay, these things are mentioned for people who directly on that level. Not everybody is in the same level. So people who are not in that level, they may say, oh, I don't believe in Krishna. Oh, but still Surya is there, Chandra is there, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, everything, they are all monitoring. Who can say that I don't see Surya, I don't see Chandra, I don't see air, I don't see sky? Everything is monitored. Even though you may be sitting in a closed chamber, still all these things are there. That is Krishna's energy. Krishna's energy is there. So that is, and also, and same 13th chapter, Krishna says, Sarvatappani padauto sarvato shiromukham sarvataha srutimalloke sarvam avitryatushati. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces. He has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything. The super soul is there, and he's everywhere his hands. Prabhupada asked the question, if everywhere hand is not there, when you offer something, how he can eat? How he can accept this? Very logical. Okay. Krishna is there in Goloka Vrindavan, then how he can, the offering is made here, how Krishna eats? He is accepting. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. By just seeing, he is eating, he is accepting the offering. When Gajendra calls, he just immediately comes. How he comes? Yes, because he is the omnipotent. Krishna is called omnipotency. So he is just, everything is possible. So it's a material world is made in such a way so that the living entity can rectify himself, rectify the rebellious mentality. The rebellious mentality can be rectified so that he can come in line with the Lord's desire. Then he can go back home, back to Godhead. That is the only purpose. All these things are arranged in such a way so that the living entity can happily live here until that whatever the period he has to live, and then finish our business and go back home, back to Godhead. That is the only purpose. And here Prabhupada says, Yamaduta, a conditioned soul thinks that he is working stealthily and that no one can see his sinful activities. But we can understand from the Shastra that there are many witnesses. So the list of witnesses are mentioned here. Where is the dearth of witnesses? Prabhupada asking, where is the shortage? Where is the shortage of witness? You are asking for one witness or two witnesses, where about 10, 20, 15 witnesses are there. Everything is mentioned here, Shastra. And here, Srila Prabhupada quotes this sloka also, and it's in Bhagavad Gita, it is Upadrashta anumantascha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmepi chapi yukto dehesmi purushapara. Translation, yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. So, upadrashta, anumanta. Upadrashta means he is just sitting beside you. Upadrashta is just seeing. What are you doing? We are very busy eating the fruits of the tree. But he is just upadrishta. Anumanta, he is permitter. Only if a living entity by himself, he cannot do anything. He has to permit. Lord has to permit. Upadrashta anumanta. So that way, he is also there. He is a witness. So there is nothing short of this thing, from all the Surya, Agni, all these things, including the super soul. He is the witness of all the activity. So then it poses a question, how careful we should be. I was like in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I said, I killed my enemies, all my enemies will be destroyed. What are you doing? You can't do anything actually. Everything, all your activities are monitored actually. This is constant surveillance. Because that way, it's not to scare anyone, but we have to understand we have come here for a purpose actually. It's not like we live like anything, like an animal or something. We don't have to live like that. We just lead a responsible life and then try to remember Krishna and then finish our business. That is what the whole purpose is, that only. Not to just, we have Agni here, we have sun here, moon here, everything is monitored. It's like sometimes people will become like a very scary, like they are just, what they say? Paranoid. If somebody keep on looking at you, you become paranoid. Because this is but we have to understand, it's not like a government also is looking at us actually. Everything, all our activities, government is also looking at us. So if this government is looking, the supreme government is also looking at us actually. So it as a law-abiding citizen, we have to abide by the rules and regulations of the country. The same way as servants of the Lord, as the living entities, we are controlled. We are controlled. We should never think, because this is all we are controlled by the Lord's energy. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita time and again. Maya adakshina prakriti. Krishna's order. The Prakriti is controlling everything. Krishna's order, not Prakriti is not happening automatically. Maya adakshina Prakriti suyate saharacharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagatvi parivartate. By Krishna's order, the living, the material nature is providing all the facilities. So this is the whole idea. And here Krishna says that in the again later section of Bhagavad Gita, if one doesn't want to see God, sometimes, I don't care about God. Yeah, you may not care about God, but Krishna comes at the time of death. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. One who does not see God during lifetime, so he will see God at the time of death. That nobody can deny that. No, okay, you may not accept Shyama-Sundar, Radha Krishna, you may not accept all of that. But then, can you avoid death? Krishna says, I am come as a death, devour everything, all your property, bank balance, Prabhupada says, everything will be devoured actually. You can't do anything. At that time, you can't say, no, I am completely different, can't happen to me. No. So Prabhupada again and again says, everything is noted. Also, punishment or reward you will have to accept, because you are not independent. Because we are not independent. We are thinking we are independent, but we are not independent. Whatever we do, everything is accounted, everything is noted down. And this is like Krishna, out of his special mercy. Special mercy, he has come. He has come in this particular form. Because we are accustomed to seeing material things only. We are not accustomed to seeing spiritual, because our vision is a little bit polluted. So that is why Krishna knows at this stage, in this conditional stage, we are not able to appreciate. So he comes in this Archa Murti, Archa form, even though the deity is made in the form of a metal or wood or whatever, marble, whatever it may be. But Krishna has appeared in that particular form so that we can appreciate actually. So we can understand and appreciate, and we can render some service to Lord. Lord accepts the service. Because Krishna, if he wants, he can change material to spiritual, spiritual to material. For him, no problem. This is for him. So he accepts that. Even though something may be material, like a rose. Whether rose is spiritual or material? Material. But the same rose, if it is offered to Krishna, it becomes spiritual. Krishna has the technique. Because Krishna, when it is accepted by Krishna, it becomes spiritual. Otherwise, just a rose, so many rose gardens are lying around. What is the use? They are all not spiritual, nothing spiritual in that actually. But if that rose is used, this rose Krishna has created, this rose, let me offer that to Krishna, so the thought counts. So that becomes spiritual. So that is why it's like Krishna is behind everything. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all the earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything Krishna separated energy. So like this. So we have always connected with Krishna. This connection with Krishna cannot be like you can finish off the connection. No, can't. We can't finish off the connection with Krishna. We have this is what Krishna says. Mamaivamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Our relationship with Krishna is eternal relationship. It's not like the relationship existing now and then tomorrow it will finish. No, it is not. It is always existing. So only thing is, we have to remember that. We have to remember, or we have to do that. This is not like the Krishna consciousness, it's like reawakening only. It's already there. Krishna consciousness is not something, a substance we have to take outside and put it inside. No, it is already there. By just chanting and hearing, it is reawakened. And Srila Prabhupada continues there in the purport, and he's saying like the witness and the Supreme Lord exist, and therefore so many living entities are elevated to higher planetary system or degraded to lower planetary systems. There are no discrepancies, for everything is arranged perfectly by the management of the Supreme God. Swabhavaki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. So this activities of Krishna is automatic. It's not like Krishna has to every day morning he has to get up and check the roster and do all this thing. No, he doesn't have to, because Swabhavaki, automatically this is done. It's not like Sudhir Krishna Prabhu is smiling because he has to run one Gopal's restaurant. He has to do a lot of things, planning, this thing, pot washer is not there, that is not there, this is not there, cutter is not there, cleaner is not there. You have to worry about so many things actually. But Krishna, he is running this whole material universe administration. He doesn't have to lift the finger also. By just his thinking only. Swabhavaki Jnana Bhala Kriyecha. Automatically it is happening. He has a competent agents are there. Automatically things are done. Like a sun, the moon. Everything Krishna arranges actually. He says in Brahma Samhita, this based on the order of Krishna. Yakshureshu savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurtir asesha tejaha yes agyaya brahmati samprata kala chakro govindam adi purusham tamaham bhaja. Yes, agyaya, because Krishna has given the agya. Agya means order. Yes, agyaya brahmati samprata kala chakro, because every day he is getting up and mounting the wheel and going around. We don't find in the paper, like today sun, moon, they are gone on strike or something. Like this is no, we are not working today, or we are having a bit of a break. Like, no, we don't see that actually. Because yes, Agya, the Agya has been given by the Supreme Lord. So you have to follow that. So this way, he controls everything. For a devotee, wherever he goes, he sees Krishna. For him, there is no difference actually. Because that is why the Uttama Bhakta is like, he does not see any problem actually in the material world also, no problem. He sees, wherever he goes, he sees Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is very nice passage there. Stavara Jangama Deki Na Deki Tara Murti Sarvatra Hayas Nija Ishtadeva Spruti. The Mahabhagavat, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he does not exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees the manifested form of Supreme Lord. He sees the Supreme Lord only, wherever he goes. Like Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri will just see at the cloud. The cloud he will faint. We also see everyday cloud, we don't faint actually. Because Madhavendra Puri, he just sees Krishna, the cloud. Cloud immediately reminds him of Krishna's color, Shyama. It's a rain cloud. Immediately he just thinks about that and he faints actually. This is the type of devotees we are talking about. Mahabhagavat devotees, they are constantly in the meditation on the Krishna. This is like same like a Premanjana. Premanjana is there. When you have the Premanjana, then automatically wherever you see Krishna only, you don't see anything else. So for those devotees, no problem. For them, there is no question of sinful activity, no question of they have to worry about the Surya, Chandra, monitoring, this is monitoring, that is monitoring. They don't have to worry about anything because they are constantly absorbed in Krishna, Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prem. For them, there is no problem. All this Surya, Chandra is for us actually. The monitoring is for us only, not for those Mahabhagavat. They don't need any monitoring because they are already in the very elevated state actually. Like Narada Muni, Sukadeva Goswami. What is monitoring for them actually? They are 24/7, all the time thinking about Krishna only. And they don't see anything else actually. They see, wherever they see Krishna only. So that problem is not there. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions there in that purport, here says, the witnesses mentioned in this verse are also mentioned in other Vedic literature. Srila Prabhupada quotes another passage where Aditya, Chandra, all this, because this is the Vedic system is so wonderful. It doesn't just, it's all the Puranas. You take this in Purana, or also you look at Padma Purana. You have all the references are there. If somebody has a time and inclination, they can go and read all of that. Garuda Purana, all this information is given. How all these things are mentioned, how these things are monitored, and who is doing all these things. Everything is mentioned. So that means, that makes us to think, like, yes, now I have a responsibility. I come to this material world, I'm not like free to do anything and everything. No, that means the road to hell is open. Instead, we have to follow the Shastra. Shastra Sakshusha. Prabhupada also uses the word, this is Shastra Sakshusha, because use this Shastra and accordingly we have to do that. Even the Yamaduta saying, iti sushruma, same way, Shastra, we have to see everything from the eyes of the Shastra. So, having come here, we have to, that's why we purify our senses by performing devotional service. This is like a Rishikena, Rishikesa Sevana, Bhakti Uttama. Because all these different upadhis are there. So, by engaging in devotional service, we can purify our existence. Then we can understand who God is. And then who we are, then what is that relationship, and then we can reconcile everything actually. So that way, this gives us an idea how we can live here happily, and then end of this life we finish our business and go back to Lord. So stop here. If there is any questions or comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Karunadi Prabhu. Thank you for the beautiful class. Prabhu, you said that we are the partial knower,
yes,
and Krishna is the all-knowing.
Full all-knower, yeah.
So, Prabhu, we have a little bit of experience of us knowing our body partially.
Yeah.
But how can we convince others that Krishna is all-knowing? Like, can that be perceived or can that be experienced?
Yeah, see, that is why it's very interesting question. Prabhu is asking, Krishna is all-knower, how can we convince somebody? Because, so this is like Krishna is all-knower, but not everybody will be able to accept that or agree to that actually. Because the problem is, everybody thinks they know everything. The way you go outside, when you go outside, they say, I know everything, mate. No worries, mate. They think they know everything. But for them, it will be completely mind-boggling. Krishna knows everything, actually. Because that is a bit of a problem. But by just, this is what is happening is like our senses are very blunt. And by doing this, the Shastra says, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriya. Our indriyas, our senses are dull. It's not able to appreciate actually. But what happens is, by doing little bit of seva, little bit of prasada, little bit of devotional activity, slowly they will come to senses. So it may not be, initially they will be averse only. They may not, why Krishna should be the enjoyer? Because that is our basic problem. Our basic premise why we came here is that only, because of the enviousness nature of Krishna. Because we want to be envious of Krishna. We just want to, why Krishna should be the enjoyer. That's why we came here. So the same envy, by just performing some devotional activities, what happens is then slowly and steadily it works actually. By taking association of devotees, hearing Krishna's. That is why it says, by hearing about Krishna, all these anarthas in the heart, slowly they go away. Sometimes it may not directly happen. You have to take prasadam, you have to come in the association of devotees. So that is why devotees play a very vital role in this thing. It's not like coming in association of devotees, what happens is that other person's the spiritual life is starting actually. The person may be, already the seed may be there, but by coming in contact with the person, so it just starts actually. And slowly and steadily, see that's what happened in Srila Prabhupada's case. Srila Prabhupada came to the Western countries, and then Prabhupada says, previously they were not knowing Krishna, who Krishna is, what is all these things, but now they are mad after Krishna. Previously they didn't know about Krishna, now they are mad after Krishna. How? Because they came in touch with the pure devotee. Because pure devotee possesses Krishna. Krishna say tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara sakati hache. Because Krishna Sakti, he is Krishna, he can give Krishna to somebody. The devotee can give Krishna to somebody because he has that capacity. The same, that is what, then the other person can understand, oh, it's not, I am not controller, I am just a cooperator. Then we will come to understand. Initially, no, he will not accept that. No, I have everything in my control. And until that time, he had to go to rush to the toilet. No? Just now you say everything in your control, but you have to go. You have to just rush. You have a toothache, you have to go to the doctor. You have to that ache, this ache. You have to do so many things. So we have to understand we are not controllers actually. To come to that degree is a very big problem. Big empires have come and gone also. So now what are we actually? We are just owning only one property here, and we think we are controlling the whole thing. It's a very childish act. So, but slowly, sometimes time also teaches these things actually. The experiences in life that teaches all this. So sometimes you may give big bhashan, that fellow may not listen. But sometimes you will get beaten up. Oh, I thought I am the controller, but I am nowhere actually. I am a very insignificant fellow here. Then when we start thinking that I am not the controller, I am not the proprietor, I am just a person trying to cooperate, then my happiness lies here. Then the life starts actually. So that way we can slowly give this knowledge. But it may not be instantaneously, they may not take it, but that's all, that is the nature. The way we came to this material world is just like a reformation only we have come here, for reformation. So reformation means it takes some time, like you have to give, you have to take, give and take, and then eventually they will come. Because that is why intelligent person will understand. Bahunam, Janmanam, Ante, after many births. But nowadays, the Kali Yuga, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, you don't have to go Bahunam, Janmanam. Because you just take the process and we can come back to Godhead. Then it's not like a Bahunam, Janmanam, Ante, Jnanavan, Mam Prapadyate, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma, Sudurlabha. That is a very tall order. But by the mercy of Lord, we can realize all these things, even this lifetime. So that is the potency of prasadam, potency of holy name, potency of the deities, potency of the worship. All these things that can help us actually. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Also, how can we understand that like there's this body is like made up of water and air, so everything that we do with the body, it's known by those elements.
Yes.
So how can we understand that those elements know what we're doing, like that they're watching?
Yeah.
But they're elements, it's not like a personal.
Yeah, everything there is a devata. See, like a Surya, we just see a Surya only disk. No, that is not disk. Disk is like the vision. But there is a Surya devata is there. There is a deva. Surya. Chandra. Chandra is a devata. There is a planet, moon planet. There is a sun planet. There is same way Vayu. Because Vayu, we just see only the air. Marut. No? So, but there is a devata controlling that. Disha. Disha means like east, west, north, south. There is a disha. There is a controlling deity. There is a controlling devata there. So, like they are all personalities. There are personalities. So they are monitoring also. Like Yamadharmaraj, Yamadutas are there. Like we see Yamaduta, but we don't see, but the dying person see Yamaduta. They are there. Sometimes we may believe or we may not believe. This is our problem. I don't believe this. You may not believe that, but whether you believe or not, things are there. Sometimes the cat will close the eyes thinking that the world is now finished, dark. The world is not dark. You have closed your eyes actually. Same way, our problem is we think, I don't believe this. You may whether believe or not believe, Krishna will come and give the verdict actually. Or Krishna's agents will come and the verdict. So, all these things, Krishna says again also in the 7th chapter, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, this is Krishna's separated energy. So that's why Bhakti, sometimes devotees, I want to see Krishna. I want to see God now. People have this argument, I want to see God. But Prabhupada says, or even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says, our business is, we don't want to see God actually. Sometimes people will wonder, how come they are saying we don't want to see God? Yeah, we don't want to see God directly because we want to engage in the devotional service to the Lord. So God will come and see us actually. It's the other way around. If a prime minister, you want to go and see the prime minister, what is the protocol? You have to go to the secretary, joint secretary, under secretary, that one, this one. Finally, you have to go and see the prime minister. But if prime minister wants to see you, what is the problem? Just one phone call, that whatever your local come call this, and that fellow will come and catch you. Same way, instead of we seeing God, no, we don't want to see God like that. Yeah, we want to see God, but not in that way. In that terms, Krishna, come now, I want to see you now. Not like that. Krishna, by just engage in Krishna's devotional service, Krishna would like to see, oh, here, I just won't go check it out. This person is here. I want to go and see. So that is what happening. That is when you have bhakti for Krishna, Krishna wants to come and see you. So that is the mood actually. So instead of us seeing Krishna, Krishna will come and see us, which is more practical actually. So that is what we have to aim for. Not just like a first beginning only I want to see Krishna. No, it doesn't work like that. I can't see, like your member of parliament also you are seeing difficult. Here it's a little bit easy. India you can't see. Nobody, you can councillor also you can't see. The one councillor, municipal councillor also you can't see also. You can't see. But you have audacity to ask God, I want to see you now. How can you see God? You have qualification to see God? We have to ask our question. Then we can see God. When you have the ointment, anoint with prema, you can see God everywhere. There is no difficulty for you to see God. Everywhere, anywhere, wherever you go, you will see God. So that is that vision we have to develop actually. But yes, all these things are there to remind us we have to behave ourselves. We have our activities, like in the case of Ajamil had performed this, but thing is everything is monitored. But what Vishnu Dutas are going to say is important. They are, even though sun, moon, all these things, they monitored everything, but he performed this one activity of chanting Narayana's name. Even knowing without Narayana is the supreme, he chanted. For that purpose, he has been given the benefit of second chance. So then now we have to ask ourselves a question. If somebody sincerely dedicates his life in serving the Lord, what is his benefit actually? The person who chanted Narayana's name unknowingly gets this benefit. Then what can we think of a person who dedicates his life, remembers the Lord, performs devotional service to the Lord? What kind of benefit is awaiting for him actually? That is this impetus for us actually. Yes, Ajamil got delivered. But what is for us is, yes, Ajamil, even though little bit of this thing he performed, he got so much of benediction. So now I should become more serious. So that like I want to remember the Narayana, remember the Lord, and perform as much as devotional service. As when the body is fit only, we can perform all these things. Otherwise, so that is why whenever we are hale and healthy, try to do as much as possible devotional service as we can, and then leave the rest to Krishna. That's why Kulasekara Alvar says, now my body is hale and healthy, now I am able to chant your name, now I want to die now only. Everybody wants to live, but Kulasekara Alvar, he says, I want to die now. Why? Because now all my faculties are working, I am able to remember you, do everything. But at the time of death, all the kapha, vada, pitta, all this mucus, everything will cover, and I may not even be able to remember you, I may not even be able to chant your names. So please, let me continue this way, so that he doesn't even mind dying at this stage also. Because when hale and healthy, nobody wants to die when they're hale and healthy, but he thinks that constant thinking of you is there, so it's better like that. So it's very advanced desire, advanced wish, but we can at least appreciate that, what they mean by that. So, yeah, Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna, Prabhupada ki jai.